Welcome to my YouTube channel. So, all of you would know about neobanks. Now, neobanks are there in are cropping up in almost all countries, especially those which are promoting fintech. So these are essentially the digital banks. I've spoken about digital banks in one of my videos before. So they are those banks which have no physical presence. Everything is online. You could open an account online. You could do all transactions online. You could transfer money from one bank to the other online. And you do that because they always have some kind of a tie-up with a regular bank. So you could even use their ATM card to withdraw cash from an ATM kiosk of a regular bank. And of course, you could use a card in another country in that particular currency. So you could do a lot of stuff in through digital banks. So digital banks is different from digital banking. Digital banking is the activity which even traditional banks have, but digital banks are purely digital. So, like I said, they have no physical branches at all. So India, the digital banks or the neobanks in India are facing some challenges, and the challenges primarily, the main critical challenge has to do with the regulations or transfer of money, which has been a pain point in India because there's been a lot of illegal money which will either transferred in or transferred out of India. So that has been a problem, and you could actually do that very easily when you don't have a physical presence of a bank. So so in this particular video, I'm going to talk about all of that. Before we dive in, please like my videos, please subscribe to my channel, please smash that notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. Please comment on my video so that I know what exactly you're looking at, and also please share my videos with people who you think would benefit from my videos. So without much ado, let's dive in. So first things first, as you know, I have an ebook. This ebook is on my journey as an entrepreneur. The ebook is titled Six-Figure Corporate Job to Master Entrepreneur. This particular ebook essentially talks about my preparation to taking the big leap of faith of becoming an entrepreneur back in 2010 when I was contemplating on quitting my six-figure globetrotting corporate job. So it talks about the preparation. It talks about the challenges I faced. It talks about how I overcame those challenges and all of that. And then it also talks about how successful I am today with two companies, one in Singapore, one in India, and two representations in the U.S. markets to get businesses into our India and Singapore offices. I have also put down 3 worksheets. These worksheets are essentially, try ways to analyze your mind before you actually jump into the world of entrepreneurship. So you could answer those questions in those worksheets, and you get and you score certain points. At the end of the 3 worksheets, you could add up the scores and you use a weighted average, and then you arrive at a final score. And with that, you could figure out. I've written over there how you could figure out, where you stand in terms of becoming a successful entrepreneur. Are you really ready, or you have to do some more work, or you're not at all fit to be an entrepreneur? So I've put down all of that in this particular ebook. And the cool thing is I've scored myself, so you would see how much I scored in this activity based on my mindset back in 2010. So this ebook is available for free to all of you. The way to get this ebook is through my website. The link is flashing on the screen. That's the page where you will get the ebook. I will put the URL in the description box below. Click on it, go to the page, put down your name and email address, and the ebook will be, or the link to download the ebook will be emailed to your inbox. I hope you like the ebook. Do give me your honest feedback. Now let's start talking about neobanks in India. So what's the status of the neobanks in India? Let's try and understand that first. First, in India, neobanks are not directly regulated by the banking regulator, the Reserve Bank of India, the RBI, as it does not grant license for operating virtual banks. However, it permits conventional banks or traditional banks to outsource certain functions under the guidelines of managing risks and a code of conduct in outsourcing financial services. But banks, which was, this particular, this law was written on the 3rd of November, November 3rd, 2006. Hence, Indian neobanks typically enter into outsourcing arrangements with conventional banks to provide a host of products and services. A digital platform for accessing banking services, or a co-branded card or payment solutions, so any of those services, and many more actually. Since banks are not allowed to outsource core management functions such as internal audit, compliance functions, and decision-making functions like determining compliance with Know Your Customer (KYC) norms, sanctioning loans, and investment portfolio management, Indian neobanks are restricted from offering key banking services. So while outsourcing obligations will be governed by the contract, the ultimate responsibility for ensuring compliance with applicable laws rests with the traditional or conventional banks. So that's the status today for neobanks in India. Now, this is obviously going to change once more regulations come in and neobanks are brought around the traditional or conventional banking system. Now, let's try and understand the three primary challenges. The first challenge is actually regulatory. So what happens is that RBI does not recognize entirely virtual banks and does not regulate neobanks. So hence, there is no license, as I mentioned in the previous slide as well. Hence, some neobanks choose to act as business correspondents, or BC, so outsourcing, of conventional banks, which are typically viewed as entities furthering financial inclusion in remote areas. So they try and help the conventional, traditional banks to reach out to the conventional, to the remote areas, so that they could include more, or they could onboard more of those customers in those remote villages in India. To act as BCs, or the business correspondents, companies are expected to have widespread retail outlets. So now these are the challenges, regulatory challenges. Now let's look at the second challenge, the technology and security. Conventional banks would expect infrastructure and security practices of neobanks to comply with internationally accepted standards before partnering with them, obviously. Neobanks would have to upgrade their systems and processes to expand the suite of products offered and continue offering certain services. So now this particular aspect is not something which is new. The neobanks are actually looking into all of these, and if you look at the latest neobanks, Neo, N-I-Y-O, and so they have these solutions. So they are using the best technology, the security services for their customers, for their systems. So, but that is one of the aspects which are critical. Third point is on data privacy. Now, ensuring data privacy is a cornerstone of any successful digital offering. Given the low charges for traditional product offerings, neobanks would depend on customer data and their ability to cross-sell products to stay afloat. Obviously, now such an ability may be affected by passage of the Personal Data Protection Bill, which is India's GDPR equivalent, which is now in the parliament, and it's almost on the cards. It will come out any other day. So that's another challenge. So those were the three challenges that the neobanks really face. Yet the fintech industry is really growing. There have been a lot of those unicorns in India today. So you would want to read up a little bit. I did a video on why the unicorns are so successful back in April, a few months ago. I think India produced six unicorns in a matter of 4 days. Unicorns means the valuation is over $1 billion. So I will put the link to that video and take a look at it. So to summarize this particular video, this particular aspect, there are three key elements that the neobanks have to kind of depend on and also work on. Regulatory is something that they have to depend on and have to comply to all of that. Technology and security are key aspects. So I think neobanks are pretty much there on that. Data privacy is, again, they have to depend on once the data protection personal data protection bill is out and is a law, and that's when they have to comply to that. So it's I won't say a lot of work really, but I do think that it's only a matter of time, and very soon you would find neobanks or digital banks are being regularized in the Indian banking system, and they will definitely get licenses. So I hope this video was useful to you. As you know, my name is Saurav Mukherjee. I'm a digital technology marketing leader with over 20 years of global experience. I will put down my LinkedIn URL in the description box below so that you could go and visit my profile and even connect with me. I regularly work with clients to help them find solutions to business, marketing, technology, and investment challenges. If you are looking to engage with me as a consultant for your company, you could drop me a line on LinkedIn after you've connected with me, or you could write to me on the contact page of my website. I'll put down the URL of the contact page in the description box below. Then we can jump into a conference call and see how we can work together. So, well, thank you very much for listening to me again. Before I go, please like my videos, please subscribe to my channel, please smash the notification bell, please comment on my videos, and please share my videos. So until next time, stay safe and stay healthy, and I shall see you soon. Bye-bye.